Oh, get the wrong camera going there. Hey, welcome everybody. Just making sure I have all my ducks in a row here. We are live. We are live on YouTube. We're live on Facebook. Welcome to this live stream. Exciting. We're going to keep it quick today. I really want to do everything I can to help all of you physical health practitioners running independent practices and really trying to do what's best for your clients. This is the whole purpose why we're here. Acculate is driven to help PHPs, physical health practitioners like you, who are like us, mavericks in the business. We're pushing forward to get the best results that we can get with our clients, best results that we can get with our businesses, and to do make the world a more wonderful place. So glad you're here. I know we have people joining from all over the place, and hard to keep track of. But great to have you here, and I'm going to get right into it. I do have to upload my I have to replace this. Today we are talking about client acquisition. So I'm going to give you some really simple tools on how to boost your client acquisition. The two really simple steps that, and it's not just about getting more clients. It's about getting, essentially getting clients who are more well suited to your business, that you can do more to help. And it's really these two steps are really powerful in making sure that you have clients consistently that you love, that are going to do the things that you prescribe for them, and they're going to get results. And it's to make sure too that you have the right clients moving forward. So I realize now there's music on. And I will shut off that music right now. There you go. That doesn't look like the right presentation. But maybe it is. Let me check slide 2. Technical difficulties as always. Good. Okay, so we're on the right slide here. We're on the right slide deck. Moving in the right direction. Like I said, we're going to talk about client acquisition today, and the two things that you can do that will make a huge difference to your business. Elephant in the room in our industry is that adherence to strength training, adherence to the exercises that you prescribe, and I prescribe, and we prescribe as an industry, is very low. And I've been in this industry for 27 years, 28 years, I think now. And when I look back at what the percentages were back then and what the percentages were at least a few years ago when we really started diving into this and trying to fix this issue, the numbers haven't changed. And that's why it became important to us to make sure that we're addressing this problem. Because if we don't address this problem, then it's really going to have an impact on not only our business, but our entire client's health profile. So Imagine this: if you can get your clients to do all of the exercises that you prescribe, imagine the outcomes they could have. It's huge. Right? I mean, right now, if you don't know the statistics and you're in, let's say, injury rehabilitation, people do about 35% of the exercises they're prescribed. That's a pretty low number. 10% of the population actively go to gyms. That's a pretty low number. People really have a hard time sticking to it. And when you think about it, it's because they aren't us. They aren't in the industry. They don't have the knowledge that we have, or the interests that we have. So it's our job to help them get there. And this is what I'm going to help you do. These two simple things will make a big difference to how people engage right from the beginning and how driven they are to actually do this stuff, to set them up properly right from the get-go. But I want to just highlight one thing. If you're not doing a lot to make sure that your clients are sticking to the program, that they're building trust and buy-in with what you're doing, and they have good long-term goals and all that sort of stuff, there's a risk to your reputation. Risk to your reputation is, let me just make this bigger so you can see it. The risk to your reputation is, as the story goes, you get a new client, they come in, they explain what the problem is, and when you start asking them, okay, what have you done for this in the past? If you don't ask that question, it's a great question to ask. And they say, well, I saw this person and it didn't help. The reality about that, and it took me a long time to realize this for my own business, the reality about that is that there are people out there saying that exact thing about you. And there are people out there saying that exact thing about me. And if we're not there to defend themselves, if we've given them a whole bunch of stuff to do and they didn't do any of the stuff and they weren't successful, now that's damaging our reputation needlessly. So it's really important that we address this issue. And I want to help you do that. And we're going to get to it. So there are three things that we do to address this. We're not going through all of that today. We're going through one simple thing, but I want to give you a highlight as to, what the things that we're teaching over time on these live streams and sharing as much free information as I can to help people build their businesses. So number one, giving people objective milestones. So learning how to prescribe in a way that your client identifies with and buys into and really can dig into and be motivated by. It's really important, especially if you have clients that are training at home. Maybe you're training them online. Maybe you're doing like I'm doing, you're prescribing exercises and they're going off on their own and doing it. So objective milestones is one of the keys. They have to be very frequent, objective milestones that your clients understand. It's great for them to be meaningful to us. It's hugely important that it's meaningful to them as well. The second thing is buy-in and trust. We're talking about buy-in and trust today, and we'll get to that. And the third thing is setting meaningful goals. So, we use a SMART goal system often in health and fitness, which is great, but it's really only one half of what we need to be doing with our clients to set them up to really be driven, to really move them from I should do something to I must do something. And there are definitely tactics to do that, and that's where we're going to we'll talk about that in some other live streams, other episodes. So to give you an understanding of where I'm coming from, I started in varsity sports as an athletic therapist. I moved into private practice, and it was, one of the earliest things to me that became apparent is in private practice. If you really want to be client focused, you have to really work on your business and figure out what the style is that you want to work with people. And I really had to create my own job. And early on, I saw that the how the whole system was working in health wasn't really for me. I didn't feel like it was helping people the way I wanted to be able to help people. So So that's so then what happened there is I actually got recruited back into varsity, so with the university, and back into this environment where the athletes could get all the services they wanted, and no questions asked, not tracking appointments. You're just doing everything you can to help these people. I moved back into private practice again after that, and this was the model that I wanted to bring. I wanted to provide everything I could for my clients in the best way possible. So my working model is very different from most other people. I don't book by appointment, or I book by appointment, but I don't charge by appointment. I charge for the year to work with me, and even though I'm doing injury rehabilitation and strength conditioning. So, and then from there, I've been an entrepreneur my whole life. We started a company called Acculate that's focused on providing better milestones, better data, and better assessment tools, better training tools for practitioners like you and I, and for our clients. So that's where we're focused on now. Throughout the episodes that when I talk, sometimes when I do these live streams, I do lots of different, we talk about a lot of different things, and I understand that depending on where you're at, in your career stage, what place you're working at or working for, there may be some limitations, and those are really good question generators too. Like, so if I say, here's a tactic that has been really effective for us, and you need maybe a slightly modified version of that. It's like, here's my situation and how do I adapt that? And then feel free to drop a comment or a question. It's, absolutely, I'm here to answer as many questions and help as many people as humanly possible. That's all I want to do on this channel is help you build a better business, help all of your clients. So there's lots of different things that I've tried over the years, and maybe I can help you adapt them if what we're talking about on any given day isn't the thing that's going to work for you. So feel free. You don't need to adopt everything that we're talking about. I know there's a lot of people online. You can't do that. You have to do this. It's not true. We can custom build whatever it is that you want for your business to help the clients the way you want to help them. So, but the first thing we need with our clients is that aha moment. That, oh my God, yes, this is what I've been looking for a very long time. This is the real deal. When they start getting that into their heads, then everything changes about the business. Everything changes about their attitude about what's going on. Because when we think about it, and you've done this, and we've all done this, maybe you go and you need to see a lawyer, and you get a recommendation, and you don't know anything about this person. You don't know if they're going to be good. You don't know, there are a lot of questions. Well, the same thing's happening to them when they're coming to see us. We're professionals in the business. We go by reputation often, but we don't know. They don't know us. They don't know us, and they need to get into it. And if they've seen a bunch of different practitioners, then often what's happening is they come in, they're going through the same process. Okay, I've been through this before, and it didn't help. And right away, that's the wrong mindset. So we need, as early as possible, to set something in their heads to get them into the right headspace and know that your service is something different than they've ever experienced before. And we want to get that as early as humanly possible. So there are 2 steps to build authority with clients that are very quick, very easy, very helpful. And these are the 2 things that we're talking about today, thing 1 and thing 2. Okay. Thing 1, give first. Now, I know online, if you're doing anything online, you're talking about, very often we talk about like, okay, provide a free thing or do whatever, like there's all these things, and they're great. We do those, those are great. and everyone's doing them. They're good. They're called lead magnets. You give something out for free or whatever. But there's something, that the true definition of generosity is not, to give something to get something in return. So in the true act of giving, the first thing I do with my clients or potential clients or just referrals to help them is this very first step. And the first step in my process is what's called a pre-qualification. And the pre-qualification plays a number of roles. So you get a referral. The number one thing is, as quickly as you can execute this, get on the phone with them. Get on the phone with them so that you can have a clear and open discussion about what their issues are. You're not on the phone with them to sell them anything. You're not on the phone for any other reason but because this person is reaching out to the health community because they need help, and you have an opportunity to guide them in the right direction. And that's huge, because even if this conversation you have with this person, it's your service is not the service that they need, but you refer them on to something, immediately you've become a trusted point of contact in the health community for that person. And that is huge for them. It's just like you and me looking for, I need somebody to help me with some IT stuff. It's not my field. I'm not good at it. I don't enjoy it necessarily. How are you going to make this simple for me? How can you really help me out? And if I'm on the phone with somebody and they're like, yeah, no, that's not what we do. Bye. Okay, now I've forgotten you forever. That's what's happened. But you have an opportunity to have a discussion with these people. And in that discussion, what you want to do is there are 5 things you want to do. So first of all is the time, and I'll make this bigger so that you guys can see. First thing, maximum 15 minutes. We don't have extra time to spend hours on the phone with people. Ideally, you book this for 10 minutes. 10 minutes of your time, get on the phone and talk to them. And the first thing you want to talk to them about is, what's the challenge? What's the challenge you're facing? Because the first thing you need to know is that the challenge that they're facing is something that you can help them with. And that's massively important. I think one of the mistakes that practitioners often make in this protectionist style that early careers start with is like, oh, this is a client, I'm going to do anything I can to help them. The reality is, health is complicated. We don't have all the answers. This is not what we're trained to do. We're trained to do a specific set of things. And we need to know that the problem they have, at least anecdotally on the phone, is something that we can deal with and something that we can truly help them with. If not, this is actually a really great opportunity to connect with your network. If there's somebody that is looking for, detailed nutritional advice, which is not something that I do, I have people in my network that I refer to. And it's a good opportunity to say, you know what, I'm going to connect you with this person, and I'm going to tell them about this conversation, and they're really going to help you out. And I give them some insight as to how they work and what they're doing and why they're a good fit for that. So and then you have an opportunity again to reach out to your network and say, hey, I got a referral for you. This was the conversation we had. Great chatting with you. Haven't connected with you in a while, and hope everything's great. And you're building and curating and managing your network. So really, really good, useful things to do. And then once you have an idea of the problem and somebody explains it to me, it's like, oh yeah, this is the crux of the issue that I'm having. I'm back for my potential clients. I'm in back pain, and I really want to get back to not feeling like I'm getting old, and I want to be able to train, and I want to be able to do stuff with my kids, and I can't ski, and I can't play hockey anymore, and I can't run. Okay, this is definitely something that I can help you with. So here's how I work. And it's really important to explain that. Now, for those of you that are still doing, and we can talk about this in detail on another episode, those of you who are still doing, booking one appointment at a time, this is one of the biggest changes that I made to my business. I don't do that anymore because I talk to them about the entire solution, because that's where my business is. So I talk to them about the fact that I run a 12-month program. The 12-month program starts from where exactly you are, and here are all the steps that we go through. So whether you're running a 2-week program, a 3-month program, or you typically see people for a month, and it's this number of sessions, whatever your work style is, that's totally fine. There's no such thing as right or wrong. It's whatever works, being client-centered and helping the client the best way you can, right? So we talk about exactly what my work style is, and I make sure that I ask them if they completely understand that. And if it's something that resonates with them, then from there, they're like, yeah, okay, that sounds like what I'm looking for. Perfect. The next step, lay out the cost. Because now that you've talked about the benefits, you've talked about the program, it's time to talk about what the cost of this and the cost benefit of this is going to be. So you get this, and this, and it's only going to cost you that. Typically, if you went somewhere else, it would cost you this, lay it out for them. Because your next step, which we're going to talk about, you're going to dedicate more time to helping them. And, if they find out later what the cost is and like, whoa, I can't afford that, that's just not realistic for me, then it's sort of been a waste of time for everybody. So lay out the cost as early as possible. And then ask them, does this make sense? Does it make sense specifically for the next step? Does it make sense to sit down and have a conversation in person to help you deal with this problem? Or if you're online, does it make sense to set aside half an hour, 45 minutes to have a full discussion by video so we can meet face to face and get further into the problem and start coming up with some solutions for it? And if that makes sense, then the thing you want to do, and this is really important, if you're not going to waste your time doing pre-qualifications that don't actually go somewhere, on the pre-qualification, you book the next appointment. So it's, I have times here and here, which one works for you best? Really important that you ask that question. You ask the question that way, because then they'll be like, oh, okay, neither of those times, but I would suggest this. It's totally fine. But when you suggest, I have this time and this time, you might ask ahead of time, so what day of the week is best for you? Okay, that day of the week, I have this time and this time, which one works best for you? Book the appointment, get them to the next stage right away, because they're into it right now. So it's really important. Don't let them just like, well, I'm going to think about it. Like, essentially, if somebody says they're thinking about it, they're gone. They're gone. So if they say, yeah, well, I'm going to think about it. Okay, it sounds like you're not convinced that, or you can't see that this is the right program for you. Is there something else that you're looking for? So they're, and we can go into, when I teach my full course that has all of this stuff, and we talk about templates and what questions to ask and what detail to go into. But these are definitely things you need to do. So the pre-qualification, really, really important that you do that. Now, if you can't do pre-qualification, let's say you're working at a place and you just get the clients, you don't have an opportunity to call them, then it's really important that you find a way. I want to make sure this is still working. That you find a way to give first. So when your client, the client comes in, maybe it's just you're just sort of handed the client, okay, what can you give first? Because when you give first, whether that's the pre-qualification or something else, a tool, a handout, a something, then you're getting into the reciprocity. So reciprocity, when we receive something, we feel like we need to give back to that, and it's actually not because you want something back necessarily, but they feel like, oh, this is awesome. I haven't done anything. I've already received this. So find a way to give first. And for those of you that maybe have ideas of what you've given first, so this is what we were talking about, giving online. Try and maybe give something that's a little bit more unique. Is a really good idea. Thing two, true generosity is giving without expecting anything in return. The next step for me in my process is having them come in, and I get a lot of pushback for this because I'm in the injury rehabilitation industry, a free consultation. Now, a free consultation is, in the therapy world, the injury rehabilitation world, is all but an unpracticed practice. It doesn't, people aren't doing it. And they're saying, so, well, this is costing me my time. Yep. That's the act of true generosity. There's one thing that you can give away that you cannot get back, and it's your time. If you're setting your clients up, you want to work with your clients. If you think that one meeting is going to help them, and that's your working model, then maybe this isn't appropriate for you. But for those of us that know that fundamental change from a health perspective takes time, takes effort, takes the human condition is very dynamic. We look at different things from injury rehabilitation. We'll look at everything from stress and sleep and hydration and nutrition and lifestyle and and then biomechanics and all these other things. These things take time to organize. And if we're truly trying to help people for the long term, yeah, I'm going to sit down with somebody for half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour, have a better look at the problem, understand what's going on. And when I tell people that it's free, they're first of all surprised right away. And then when they show up and they sit down and we talk about it, we talk about what the problem is, then they're often very like, are you sure you don't charge? Can I give you something? And I absolutely refuse. No, this is a free consultation. And I want to know that A, you can meet me and you want to work with me, and B, that what you have is truly something that I can help with and that I want to work with you. When I do that, the consultation, there's a number of call them steps, which we can't go through in the amount of time that we have now, but sitting down, I sit down, I understand, I articulate the fact that, it lets them choose me as well, because too often we get met with professionals that we've never met before. And it's like, okay, we're into this and now I owe them hundreds of dollars already. And it's like, now what am I going to do? I'm not going to change to somebody else. And it's just really not a really good model, if you ask me. So giving them the choice to say no at the beginning is really, really important. Next thing is, in your free consultation is to, like I said before, it's, find the true source of the problem. So oftentimes in the free consultation, they'll be stating one thing, and then, in the pre-qualification, they're stating one thing, and in the free consultation, you realize maybe that's not the actual problem, because they don't understand it the way we understand it, and that's why they're reaching out for help, right? So, and that's totally fine. If this new truth of what the problem actually is not in your domain, again, it's another opportunity to support your network. If it is, then the next step is to explore the magnitude of the problem. So, like, there are lots of, depending on exactly what area of physical health you're in, but one of the great questions is, how long have you had this problem? How many times have you tried to fix this? What have you done in the past? And it gives you some insight for, how much effort they've actually put in to try and change this. But it also gives them, a reminder of how much effort they've tried to put in to change this. So digging at the magnitude of the problem, how is this affecting your life? And if this never gets better, what's the future look like? These are really important questions, because one of the last questions I'm going to ask my client, or near one of the last questions, is on a scale from 1 to 10. If 1 was you're completely satisfied with your life, 8 is the threshold where you make some significant changes to your life to achieve what you're asking you to achieve, help you achieve. And 10 is you would change anything about your life. Quit jobs, get divorced, change countries, all of that. Where are you on a scale from 1 to 10? And if they don't answer an 8, then I don't take them. Now, I don't immediately dismiss them if they say a 6 or something like that. But it's really important that we understand how driven they are for this solution. So if they say, and you get this, it's, well, I'm a 5 or a 6. Okay, that's interesting. And, there's no such thing as wrong. I don't believe there's any such thing as wrong. So I get it. Is it skepticism that you'll actually get there that's holding you back from saying, what would get you to an 8? And oftentimes it's that. It's like, yeah, well, I don't know if this is going to work. Okay. So assuming this works on a scale from 1 to 10, or you can just straight up ask them, what would get you to an 8? And oftentimes it's like, well, results. Okay, let's say we can get results. The reason this threshold exists is because people who are lower than an 8 are not going to do the exercises you prescribe. They are not driven enough at this point to follow all of the advice, and we need them to be there before we take them. So if I can't get them to an 8, that's allowing for significant change, and depending on what their condition is and what's going on, may not need significant change. But if I don't have that commitment to significant change, then so that's a real cutoff at that point. It's also really inspirational when you talk to people about, like, I am an 8, I'm a 9, I'm a 10. I want this. I've tried this. I've talked to you. We've talked on the phone. This is the system that I want. I really like it, and I'm going to do all of the things that we talked about. Amazing. Let's get into it, and let's get going right away. And I get them to sign a contract right then and there. I get them to book their first appointment, and we're off to the races, and we start. So really effective way to get people into the system. Well, let's go. An alternative to this, if you cannot do the free consultation, this one works. This is very good as well. You can't do the free consultation. You have to start, and whether it's a health, fitness, injury assessment, whatever. In my business, I did full biomechanical assessment on the first day. And, it's time consuming. It's time consuming for me. It's usually doing a very thorough assessment is fairly remarkable to the client, to your new potential client, or if they're paying you that day, to your client. Because too often in our field, people are showing up to see some physical health practitioner, and honestly, they're not they're not getting the service that they expect or actually need. So we do as much of a thorough assessment as possible. And then my second give is I build a priority list. And I do this after the fact and I email it to them, or I used to anyway. I don't do that anymore because I have it built in my system. But when I charged first, and after that first assessment, I went through the assessment. I created a checklist of all the things that could be changed, improved, modified. I put them in a priority list of the things that need to happen now, the things that can wait till later. And oftentimes when we're looking at, all the various things that can help a human be more physically healthy, whether it's, sleep, stress, we talked about all of this, nutrition, biomechanics, resolving latent injuries, all that stuff. There's a list of things, and it helps people understand the magnitude of the problem and the magnitude of the lengths that you're willing to go through to help them to get there. So when you build and send them that list of the things they need to work on, this is very much an eye-opener for them. For years I was giving this and they were like, wow, this is okay. Now I truly understand what I have to do to get to where I want to go. And, I tell them, you want to take that list to somebody else, go ahead. That's totally fine. They won't, because they trust you with it. But it's totally fine for them to ask another practitioner, and they'll end up coming back to you because of the trust that you've built already. So hugely important, very, very effective way to do things. We're almost done, but I wanted to give you a bonus third thing that is really important for this process. At the end of your conversations, whether it's the pre-qualification or the free consultation or the any given appointment, there's something that's going to help the long-term commitment to this on an ongoing basis, and it hinges on the answer to a variation of this question. What I'm hearing is that you feel that you need long-term support to achieve your goal. Now, there are a lot of variations to that question. What I'm hearing is you need this, and this is how you're going to be successful. The answer to this question will indicate to you whether you've done things right. And I've tested this many, many times, and it's hugely important that if you get the wrong answer, that you rework some of the work that you've done. So you do want to ask this question before, while there's still some time to, do a little bit more digging. But if a client answers you, you are right, you're right, that's what I need, then the ownership of the problem has become yours, not theirs. This is not, it sounds like the right answer. This is not the right answer that we want out of them, because we want to, as early as possible, foster internal drive. They need to take ownership of what is going on. The answer we are looking for is that's right. And it sounds like it doesn't make a difference, these two answers. But you're right and that's right are very fundamentally different. So at the end, you're asking, so this program works for you. That's right. It works for me. You're right. This is the program for me is the wrong answer. So keep that in mind. And it's not just about this, pre-qualification and the free consultation or your priority list or whatever. Anytime we're trying to get our clients to do something and make sure they're bought into the process and they're going to commit and stick to what's going on, it's always a bit of a negotiation, right? You're providing stuff, they're listening, that they fully understand and they've bought into it. It's a that's right situation. Okay. That's everything that all the stuff that I wanted to go through today. That have a look at that pre-qualification or giving first. Massively important. Give again. So the free consultation or something that is of value, that is really meaningful for your client, and that helps them understand that you are fully into this process with them, is massively important. So our other live streams. So we were doing it at the beginning, a series of live streams. So decided at this point that I'm going to be on as often as possible, helping you add elements to your business, modify elements to your business to get the best experience you can. I've been in this for a long time. So we're going to be talking about all kinds of different things. I never know if the screen is too small or you can't read it. So client engagement is a huge one. Boosting retention, because retention is more valuable than anything. First of all, retention leads to long-term results, which is, if we're client focused, it's the long-term result that we want. So, boosting retention. The other one is effective strength training methods and assessments. This is something that we're very focused on at Accolete, because we believe in measuring everything. Because when you measure everything, it really helps your client understand what's going on. In our field, too often in our field, we're doing assessments or we're doing things that our clients don't understand the way we understand it. So if we can do our assessments, we can do the things that we want to do with our clients, not just in a way that we just understand, but in a way that they understand as well. And they can fully see what the issue is, which is why measured progress for us is so important. Then that's massively important. So we talk about all kinds of stuff on these live streams. The recordings stay up. If you want to watch any one of the other recordings that are up, anything we can do to help. You have comments, you have questions as we move along. Like I said, I've been in this industry for a very long time, and I've worked everything from early stage injury rehabilitation to high performance training, and everything in between. I've worked with sports of all kinds, from elite high-end car racing to triathlon and swimming and rugby and football, and I've been around for a long time. I've worked with elite, I've worked with general public, so really have tested out a lot of things to run my business the way I run it and to help people the best way possible. And if I can help you do that and build an amazing business and have amazing results with your clients, that's all that I would ever want to do. So send me your questions, send me your comments. I'll do everything I can to maybe answer stuff in the future or get back to you. Again, we're live on YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn. You can find us all over there. And I hope to see you in the next episode. My name is Greg Lothian. I'm an athletic therapist and strength coach, and I'm really here to help you as much as humanly possible.